From the moment the cyclist makes a commitment to the sport, then it's all about discipline. The individual cyclist has to have the passion. He must have the desire to win. He must want it himself.
A lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, motivation.
We work on a strict regime that is built on discipline, on training, on physical fitness.
I can see my improvements from week to week, from month to month, and that keeps my momentum going.
The majority of the races are events that we use to train, to build that momentum, to take on the major classics.
I knew I was in first place, but I'm coming into the line. You see all your hard work pay off right at that moment.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. In physics, momentum is mass times velocity. Our mass is our entire team, and our velocity is the speed at which our operations move. My name is Anwar Barrow. I am the chairman of the executive committee, and I have the pleasure of leading 600 enthusiastic, committed, wonderful individuals. They have been swept up by the momentum that we have been speaking about tonight, and that is the theme of the AGM, and they are committed to delivering your company, the company that you have invested in, to destination greatness. I started this journey with them 2.5 years ago when I took up this position, and the mandate from the board of directors was really threefold. The first thing was to bring clarity. Clarity as far as how we could articulate a clear strategy to achieve the company's objectives. And that objective is to move BTL from one of the lesser competitive telecommunications companies in the region to one of the more competitive telecommunications companies in the region. The second mandate has been to transform the culture and move the company from a culture that has been born out of a monopoly, which were the beginnings of the company, to one that is more commercially competitive. And so we've put quite a bit of effort into doing that, and you may have heard about it over the last 2 AGMs. The third mandate, and possibly the most challenging and difficult, has been to transform the technological infrastructure upon which BTL has been built and bring it into the 21st century, modernizing it as we go along. So tonight I'll talk a little bit about those mandates and what we have done and what we are going to do. As I said before, we spent the last 2 years building momentum, and the chairman of the board outlined some of the results of that momentum. You can see that year on year, we have jumped our revenues almost $14 million, which is unrivaled in the history of the company. We have jumped our profits 27%, which also represents a significant uptake for BTL. This is the momentum that we plan to use going forward. This is the wind in our sails that we have created, that the team has created, who I want to thank tonight, each and every member of staff. This is what they have done to move the company forward and help propel us along. Last year, we spoke about 3 major things at the AGM that we wanted to accomplish. And tonight I want to give an update on how we are doing on each of those 3 major things. The first thing was to expand broadband reach and quality. I'm very excited about that because we've done a lot, and that is the future of the company. We launched 7 areas to which we are delivering fiber to the home. And fiber is the future of BTL. Currently, a large part of our network is delivered over this type of cable right here. And this is a copper cable. It uses electricity to transmit signals. It's about 100 years old, the technology, and it's very costly to maintain. And it's not very reliable because it uses electricity. So when we have Hurricane Earl, for instance, a lot of our plant stays up, but this is where we have most of the problems because this becomes waterlogged. Apart from that, it doesn't have much capacity, and so we're very limited when using this technology as to the number of customers that we can put on it and the speeds which we can give those customers and the service which they can get. When you hear fiber, this is what we are referring to. And this is the actual fiber at the end. It is a little bigger than one strand of hair. This one wire has 3.5 million times the capacity that that copper cable had. So that gives you a sense of how important it is that we future-proof what the company is doing using this fiber. So as you hear fiber, you now have a good vision of exactly what it is. This is it right here. It takes skill and technique to put down and put down right, but we employ the best people that we can, and we have a great team rolling this out. The second thing that we spoke about was the repositioning and relaunch of our home phone and landline service. And you may have noticed that earlier this year, we came out with new home phone packages, allowing customers to talk on the weekends unlimited, talk during the weekdays, at nights unlimited, make international calls a certain amount of minutes depending on what packages they chose. This is all a part of our strategy to leverage the network and the infrastructure that we had. The third thing that we promised at the last AGM was a 15% uptake in the mobile revenues. We didn't quite get to 15, but we got to 12, which is very healthy and very respectable, and we are quite proud of that. So there goes it as far as what we promised, what we spoke about, what I delivered in my presentation last year, and how we've done from that point on to this year. Going forward is what I want to talk about next, and some of the projects and programs that we have ongoing. You may have heard earlier this year that we signed a strategic partnership deal with Huawei. Huawei Technologies is one of the largest technological manufacturers and technology companies in the world. They are Chinese. They have 175,000 employees. They have 75,000 employees out of that 175 working on research and development alone, just working on new technology. They're a world-class company. We're very excited to partner with them. And they have committed to delivering one of the best mobile networks in the region. They want to make Belize, and we want to be a showcase for the region. And we are well into that project, and come December, we plan to launch a brand new LTE mobile network with expanded coverage. By the end of 2017, we would have moved from 100 cell sites, which we currently have right now, to over 150 cell sites in Belize. Expanding coverage, expanding revenues, and expanding the quality of our service. Also, as I spoke about fiber, we continue to roll that out throughout the country, not only to those 7 areas that I mentioned earlier, but also to businesses and also to all corners of the country. The fiber rollout brings with it faster products in terms of internet speeds. You may have heard of HyperNet, and also better prices because we have a much more efficient infrastructure. So that is the future of BTL, and that is what we are actively going after. And that is where our largest challenge lies, as well as our largest opportunity. And we plan to, in the coming year, focus a lot on Belize City, which is obviously one of the biggest markets to roll fiber out into. You may have also heard earlier this year, about 2 months ago, that we signed another agreement with Huawei, and that is to deliver a state-of-the-art submarine cable from Bomba in the Belize district to San Pedro. This is important because currently there are no fiber optic cables from Bomba or from Belize to San Pedro. Everything is done through a microwave link, which is a big dish pointing from Belize City all the way to San Pedro with another dish receiving it there. Very limited capacity, even more limited than the copper wires that I spoke about. And so putting fiber to San Pedro opens up a tremendous opportunity for the company. And San Pedro is one of the 7 areas which we spoke about earlier that we will be doing fiber to the home in. So the future for us and the investments that we're doing now and we're rolling out are really positioning your company to be in the most enviable position it can be going forward. To tie all of this together, we've also taken on the project of launching a new billing system. And even more importantly, it's a state-of-the-art billing system that will allow us to take all our products and services and bundle them in unique ways so that we are able to offer the customers unique packages. Pay one price, get a home phone, mobile phone, as well as internet. And that's very attractive. That's going to be on the cutting edge of product offerings worldwide. People and organization. To make all of this work, that is perhaps the most important ingredient. We continue to recruit for key roles. We have done a lot of redesign and restructuring of the company. We started in 2014, where we sought at a high level to organize the company for more accountability. For example, we have one chief sales and marketing officer who is responsible to bring in all the revenues and make all the sales of the company and do all the marketing, him and his team, obviously, which is a feature that before we did not have. And since then, we continue to redesign business units within BTL. Technology is pushing the company and pushing us to constantly evolve and constantly try and push our services, our products, our infrastructure to the next level, and as such, deliver a next level service to the customer. We've strengthened our engineering teams. 2 years ago, we had 6 engineers at BTL. In the last year, we recruited 13 new engineers, which has been very, very important to successfully executing these projects. We are also now revamping our compensation and performance review structure, because not only do we want to recruit the best people and have the best people working with us and train our employees to be the best, we also want to incentivize them to perform at the highest levels. It would be unfair to tell you everything that we're doing without highlighting some of the challenges we faced. The telecoms business as we know it today has changed. It's not the same as it was 5 years ago. It's not the same as it was 10 years ago. And the business model is changing where in 3 or 4 years, the customers will no longer be paying for talk and text. They will be paying for data because they will be doing everything over the internet. more people will have data, more people will be using WhatsApp to make calls or Viber and send texts. And we have to align our company and our business model with that reality to make sure that we can not only survive, but that we can thrive. Another big challenge is execution. As you can see, we're trying to leapfrog this